Hey family, and happy Wednesday to you. Some people call this hump day. Wednesday is a day where you're kind of at the middle of the work week if you have a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and it kind of reminds you that the weekend's coming. Well, I want you to know that there's a blessing on Wednesday. There's a blessing every day, but there's especially a blessing today. Why? Because you're here for your daily rise. Because you made a decision today that you were going to support yourself. You made a decision today that you want to be aligned with God. You made a decision today that you want to make sure you're taking control rather than your day controlling you. And I'm so proud of you for it. Welcome to your daily rise this Wednesday morning. Now, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever stepped onto one of those airport moving walkways? You know what I'm talking about, when you kind of step on it and it just leads you forward? You can either stay to the right and just stand, or you can actually walk on the left and walk even faster because it's moving under you. Yeah, those airport moving walkways, they're interesting. And if you know what I'm talking about, whether you've been on one or whether you've seen one before, then you already know what alignment looks like. And that's good news, because if you understand what alignment looks like, then you're going to be able to walk like the person you're becoming. When you trust God with your path, you're not walking alone. You're stepping onto a lane that's already moving. Your future and your future self is found in the flow of God's direction. You know, scripture says that if you trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding, all your ways acknowledge him, what's God going to do? He's going to direct your path. That's what alignment is all about. Now, I want you to think about that airport, because it really helps this come alive. Think about you're at the airport, you're exhausted at the airport. You step onto the moving walkway, and suddenly you're still moving even when you're standing still. That's how alignment with God works. When your heart, when your habits, when your hopes all line up with his path, then that means your effort multiplies. That means your progress accelerates. That means you're carried where you couldn't walk alone by yourself. And even when you're tired, even when you decide to stand on the right side of the moving walkway, even when you don't have the energy because you've been traveling all day and you're ready to go home, alignment is the power that still moves you forward. That's grace. That's God's unmerited favor. That's God's power. That's God's blessing. That's God saying, I'm going to give you more than what you have yourself. I'm going to give you my strength. I'm going to move you forward because you're aligned with me. You're on the same page as me. We're working from the same playbook. But people of God, you got to step onto the walkway. Standing on the airport carpet, exhausted, frustrated, overwhelmed, that's a choice. God's path is activated by motion. You've got to step onto the walkway, and once you step onto that walkway, then God's power takes over. Just like when you're on the moving walkway at the airport, and just by standing on it, you move forward. God will direct your paths if you do what is required to get on his walkway. Today, I want you to identify one small area where you need to step onto the walkway. One area where trust needs to replace overthinking, where trust needs to replace overwhelm, where trust needs to replace your being oppositional to the way of God and the blessings of God in your life. Whatever that thing is, and wherever you are, and no matter how you feel about it right now, I want you to tell yourself, we're getting on the walkway today. You know what? Drop an emoji into the comments and let me know how you're feeling today. I want to pray for you. I want to be thinking about you as we go about this day. And I pray that you find a way to find the walkway so God's power can kick in, even if on this Wednesday, this hump day, you need a little jolt to get over the hump. That's today's word, but I want you to know tomorrow is all about authority. And it's also about the noise that we must cancel in order to be able to walk in the authority that God has for our lives. If you haven't already, grab this week's Rise Roadmap at kingdommovement.com/rise. It's free and it helps you to follow this journey and put all of this together. Don't you dare forget that this throne is pointing to just one thing: your royalty. Live royal, fam. Love y'all.